Hi, everyone. This is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and you're watching another episode of Wine, Witches, Witchcraft. Tonight, I'm here with my usual co-host, Renee Yin.
Hello.
Yay, there's Renee. And tonight, we're going to be talking with artist and beautiful, talented illustrator, Nakita Melo. Say hello to everyone, Nakita.
Hi, everyone.
And I know she's super talented and beautiful, a beautiful soul, because she is my illustrator for this wonderful book that I've been discussing, A Witch's Voice. So we're actually going to be talking tonight with Nakita about just the process she went through, magic, because she is a practicing witch. So we could talk about magic and witchcraft and art and all that fun shit, right?
Right. I love it.
Yay. Yay. So hello, everybody. We have a nice group showing up. Yep, in the chat. So hello, everyone. Hey, Johnny, why did you retract your message? Hi, Johnny. Nakita, can you see chat? I didn't even ask you about chat.
I don't think so. I actually have this weird pop-up right now. I just try to get rid of. So
Okay.
I'll see it in a second, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. So yes. So tonight, what am I drinking tonight? Unfortunately, I'm not drinking wine tonight, people, because I don't know if you can tell, but I have this cold thing going on. But tonight I'm drinking tea in my cute little cup. Not all witches are from Salem. Isn't that the truth? So I'm drinking tea and water. Renee, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking water because I'm on a health kick right now. So
no wine. And Nakita, no wine for you tonight, right?
No wine today. I had some milk earlier, but that's about it.
All right. Yeah. So none of us are drinking wine. So anybody in the chat, if you're drinking wine, please share with us what wonderful wine you're drinking tonight.
Because we are sober.
I cannot see the chat, by the way. So if anyone says anything, you'll have to let me know.
We'll let you know. Yes, we'll let you know. And then you can always go back and watch the video and read all the chat, the wonderful comments. Danielle is drinking a milkshake. Ooh, what flavor, Danielle? What flavor milkshake?
Intolerant. I miss them, though. I miss milkshakes so much.
Yeah. I haven't had a milkshake in a long time either. Okay, so let's talk about, and I did put the link to Nakita's Instagram and her YouTube channel in the information section of this video. If you're watching on recorded or if you're looking for the information, you should go check out her Instagram and her YouTube. She has a Facebook too. Find all her beautiful art. So let's talk about art. First, let me ask you, Nakita. I think I know the answer, but I'm sorry, I have to cough. We're going to be struggling over here today. I think I know the answer, but for other people who wouldn't know the answer, working on the book with me, do you remember how many illustrations you did? Because I don't remember. I'd have to go back and count.
Either 25 or 27, somewhere around that number.
So what was your favorite?
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's a really hard one because I love them all, but I definitely have to say that one of my favorites is the dance. And
that's right.
It reminds me of like transcending into euphoria a little bit. Let me see if I can find it. It's right here. Let me see if you guys can see that.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of my favorites. It's a little trippy, which I like. Yeah, but my definitely my other favorite is Lord Gob because
he's
different than what I normally draw. I'm usually drawing very pretty women and soft feminine features, and I definitely had to channel something different when drawing him. And I felt a little like, Lord of the Rings, kind of Forest King, and I love him. I actually do. Yeah.
I loved him. I remember when you showed me the sketch and I'm like, oh my God. Not that I don't, again, just like you said, I love all of them, but it's
different.
It is. It's really, I like it. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. And obviously the one that I like, the one that ended up becoming the bookmark, Lord Dingen, this one.
Oh, yeah.
That one came out really good. Unfortunately, because of the cost of doing all color, I would have loved to have her do all colored. But unfortunately, for the cost of the book, we had to do black and white.
Yeah.
And of course, I love the cover.
Yeah.
The cover, that was for A Witch's Voice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. And I said, "Oh, that's perfect for the cover too. The first poem and the first picture." I know we have some questions. I think I saw one, right?
Yeah, there's one.
So Danielle asked, "Do you have a favorite art medium, Nakita?"
Ooh, that is tough. I definitely love using colored pencils. I think I get the most detail from a drawing or creating a portrait with them. And I know it's a little weird. A lot of people would think that's like a children's art medium, but you can create such beautiful artwork with colored pencils these days. Sorry, my cat's knocking over everything.
I was just going to say, whose tail is that flipping in the corner?
Every time I'm in this room, she has to be in the window next to me, so she's here. My other favorite medium is definitely watercolor and just pencil. Sometimes I just use ballpoint pen for a lot of my drawings or sketches. Yeah.
Nice. Is that, I gotta ask, is that a vision board in the back there on your wall?
It is. I made it last year. It has some of my favorite artists on YouTube. They're all younger female full-time artists that do traditional art, and that's who I want to be. And I find it very empowering and inspirational to see other girls conquering their dreams and going forward with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Someone loves crayons.
Crayons are awesome.
Very cool. Okay, so let's see what else. So I mean, being a practicing witch, how does art, or do you, and if you do, how do you use art within your practice? And I know you and I have had discussions about, you not being as active maybe as you'd like, or kind of slacking off a little bit. And I'm sure many of us have that same challenge from time to time when life gets really busy. But when and if and how does your art work into your practice, if at all?
Well, it definitely helps me visualize. Maybe not so much a physical art, but definitely creating universes in my mind and letting me go to different places and connect with Goddess. I think being able to put what I have in my mind onto paper helps me project it back into me. I know it's kind of hard, like it sounds kind of weird, but I don't use my artwork in my magic, and I think I should, because I have that skill and I should use it for that, but I don't really know how to incorporate it. I'd like to. And like you said, it's true. I haven't really been practicing too much. I want to get back into it, but it's hard to focus, especially when life gets in the way and you have to focus. You have to find that quiet time and that time with nature, and however it is that anyone practices. And I need to get better at that.
Well, I was just thinking, because I know you did, and we were talking about this just the other day, the pieces that you did on wood of the crystals.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how much, I mean, I can think of that, and just the fact that if you have any nearby, you should show everybody your beautiful piece. Do you have one right there?
I do. It's a little one right here.
Yes.
So it's not just crystals. It's my little raccoon skull with some crystals growing out of his forehead.
Right.
And some greenery.
She did other pieces like that just was like a crystal cluster. Yeah. And I was thinking that, I mean, even though you may not intentionally put an intention in it when you're creating it, but I can't imagine that there isn't, when you're focused on it and you're drawing the crystals, that you're not thinking about the crystals that you're drawing.
I agree with you on that. And I actually forgot about the crystals because I did them last year and it's been so long because they're just in my house and I just look at them, but you kind of, everything blurs away. But that is true because I wanted the crystals' energies to shine through the drawing, I guess. But you're right. Even if it's not intentional, I'm sure there's channeling happening and there's something going on. Because that's how I feel if I'm giving advice to someone, I feel like it's not just me. And I kind of feel the same way when I'm drawing, where
Right.
it's kind of coming through me at the same time.
Right. So when you were working on the poems for the book, what was your thought process when you were drawing, like, say, Lord Gob? I mean, were there things that you were thinking? What was your thought process?
I let myself go into the poem like this. It put these images in my head because your poems are very, it's like a film. You set a stage, you know what I mean? And I could feel the grass and the mud in my feet, you know what I mean? I could hear like the leaves like crunching under my toes, and I wanted to kind of become him. And that's how I treated a lot of your poems. I kind of just let myself go into that universe and try to see it with my eyes and I pulled the images, like the imagery that, like the descriptions that you put in there, I pulled them together and I tried to make him alive in my head.
Do you think that, I mean, would you classify that as sort of an act of magic on its own?
I guess so. I never really thought about it. And to be honest with you, I've never explained my process out loud. So it sounds kind of weird because I don't know the words for it. I don't know how to explain how it is that I make a drawing come out of my head, but I kind of go to that place and I become that thing. And then I try to translate it onto paper.
Well, that makes perfect sense to me. How about you, Renee? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Good.
I mean, Renee here is witchy. She's a shamanistic. I don't even know. We don't even know. What is your label? Do you have a label there, Renee?
I don't even know. So
yeah, but she does journeying and that kind of thing. So I'm sure she can relate with that too. I mean, do you draw? Do you do art, Renee?
Yeah, I paint.
You paint. So see, I'm sure she relates to that kind of experience.
Yeah, especially when you're just in it and you've been drawing for a while or painting for a while and everything around you kind of disappears. And then you realize you haven't eaten in 4 hours and you haven't spoken in 4 hours because you're really in another world. And that's kind of what happened with these drawings. I definitely disappeared for a while and it was good. It was really a beautiful experience for a lot of them.
So then I would venture to say, Nakita, even though you have not done ritual or maybe you haven't done any traditional spell work, the fact that you worked on these poems for the last, I don't know, couple of years that we were working on this and doing the artwork for it all, I mean, you've been doing magic, whether it's traditional, but you have been practicing in a way, in your own personal way.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think you're right. Like in hindsight, I think that's probably what happened because it was a lot of connecting to the words and the energy of everything.
Well, art, if you really think of magic from the point of view of using energy or manipulating energy to create a result that would not have therefore existed beforehand, without it.
Oh yeah.
Then through that definition alone, what you're doing alone would be considered magic.
That's a very good point. It's true. It's creating something out of nothing, essentially. Bringing something to life.
Yeah, manipulating the energy. Oh, sorry.
I was saying it's just more literal.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely taking energy. I mean, if we go back to the idea that, I wrote the words, so I took a thought, took an emotion and manipulated the words, put them on the page. And then Nakita, you read the words, you took that energy within you manipulated that, you worked with that, and then you produced an image. I mean, it's definitely an act of magic.
That's pretty amazing to think about it that way. Yeah.
And then the people that read our words and look at your images, Then they take that, and whatever they do with that, I mean, I would hope that, I don't know, they would express it in some way. Then they become part of the whole chain.
Yeah. That's actually pretty amazing. I love that.
I love it too, isn't it? It's yay. Lady of Death wanted to know, and I think you answered this, but we can specifically point out her question. She asks, do you ever channel when you draw? And I think you mentioned that, but
I don't intentionally, but I do think it does happen. And I feel like one day I would like to try to do spirit drawings, like connecting with a past, a loved one who has passed, and seeing their image and trying to translate on that onto paper for someone. I don't know if I can do that, but that's something that people have told me to try, and it's probably something that I'd like to try in the future.
Yeah, I think that would, yeah, I think that'd be great for you. I think you'd be awesome at doing that. Oh, I was just thinking, damn, now I'm moving, right? Because that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned in the chat that they want to do Mystic Jen. I want to create a tarot deck, but need an artist. Hint, hint. Laugh out loud. I have ideas in my head. Yeah, well, you know, I've already claimed Nakita for a tarot deck.
First, though, we got to get that out of the way.
We're doing an oracle first and then a tarot. That's our plan. So sorry, I already claimed her. Let me see. Is there, Renee, do you have any questions or any thoughts about the whole?
Not really. I mean, I've seen the artwork, and you know, me and you had talked about it several times before the book had even come out, and I just, you know, it's just I pretty much kind of more of a kudos to just how talented you are. Just seeing, you know, for the past year or so, kind of like a lot of some of the pieces that have come through that, you know, here or there, Cricket would show me. So I'd just like to say that it's really amazing work.
Did I send you a book yet, Renee?
Mm-mm.
I need to send you a book.
Over in our chats, you've shown me parts of the book.
I know. I'm like, I think I sent you all my other ones. I gotta send you this one. Okay. Yeah. Misty says, I was wondering, I'm blind. Is there a way I can incorporate art into my practice? I need something tactile. Is it a good idea to glue crystals to a wooden?
Question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So she's blind. Is there a way to incorporate art into her practice? Would you suggest anything?
I definitely, you know, it's tough, but I think sculpting something with clay, being able to use your hands and feel the medium, whatever it is that you're making, being able to put your energy through your hands into the medium. I definitely think clay is the way to go. Mm-hmm. And it's really fun, even if you don't have a goal for what you're making, just being able to put your force into that. I think that'd be really nice.
Agreed. I would say modeling clay for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So she needs, is it a good idea to glue, is that crystals to a wooden piece?
I would suggest no. I'm not a fan of gluing crystals to really anything. If you want to attach something, then I would wire wrap it, because then you could always unwrap it. And then usually if you used copper to wire wrap, the energies usually play nice with most other crystals too, or silver. But yeah, I would not do anything permanent. I wouldn't hot glue a crystal to anything, especially if it's like selenite or something on the more scale. That heat can really ruin some of those crystals. Like heat can even ruin turquoise, though.
Ooh.
Even sun can ruin turquoise, actually. It'll sun bleach it.
Yeah, that's happened to some of my crystals.
I mean, sun will bleach amethyst, so it's just kind of like
exactly what I was
use heat sparingly. No heat.
Nicole got my book in today. Oh, good. Great, Nicole. Great. I hope you enjoy that. The cat's tail is confusing. What is she? Is she looking out a window?
Yeah. This is my blanket.
Oh, she's on the other side of the
doesn't want to come out, but she's right. Oh, she's right here.
Oh, there she is.
She's good. She's very sweet. She just wants to hang out in the window all day. That's all.
Yeah, she must enjoy watching whatever's going by and stuff.
There's nothing there. She just keeps an eye out for the gargoyle. She just makes sure nobody's in the yard, and if there is, she howls. So.
Did she show any of her artwork yet? Yes. Well, we can show some of her artwork. What else do you want to? You could show. We can show some. She showed her favorites, or a couple of her favorites. What else?
I definitely have another favorite, which I think was the last one that I did. And what's funny is throughout this book, my style changed a little bit, and not like you could definitely tell it's still the same artist, but something in me changed with the art, and I got a little bit more refined and a little bit more. I'm using the symbolism a little bit differently. My cat is doing weird things. I'm so sorry. So I'll have to try to find the last one that I did. It is definitely one of my favorites.
I'm looking through this and going, God, I love that one. Oh, I love that one. Oh, I love that one. Oh, I love that one too. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was for Lady Numinous. Numius. I liked this one too.
Yeah.
This one, yeah. I like this one too.
This one was another favorite, and he took me
yes,
quite a few tries to get, but I really like the final draft of him.
Yeah, me too. Cool. Now, have you, I mean, other than working on this, obviously many of these, if not all of them, have a pagan-y, witchy flair. Yeah. Prior to this, did you do any other pagan-y, witchy art?
I definitely have. I have so many sketchbooks that I can't point out exactly where they are, but I definitely do enjoy doing that kind of art. I don't think there's enough of it in the world. I want to make more, you know what I mean? I mean, I have a couple of little, very small sketches here in my, see if I can bring that up here. Like something like this with like a crescent moon and a bunch of crystals.
Do you have that Media Witch?
Oh, I don't. I actually sold her.
You did?
I did.
She was awesome. I know she's on your Instagram.
Yes.
People should. She came out awesome.
Thank you. I still kind of miss her. I wish I had made copies or something. I actually might have a scanned version, and I could probably make copies of it. To be honest with you, make prints. So maybe I should do that because I like her.
She is awesome. She is awesome.
It's like a modernized witchy aesthetic, and she's like, she's got her black brim hat and some crystal necklaces, but she's also looking at her phone. You know, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is a great. I love that one. She came out so good. I wanted to look through here. What other ones? I mean, they're all really good. I like the key.
Thank you. I like that one too.
This one.
A little biased though, aren't I?
For the retrieval. That one came out really good too. I think that was one of the later ones you did too, I think.
Yeah. I was practicing a lot of different techniques because they were all done as ink washes. And ink washes were kind of new to me, which is also probably why my style changed a little bit, because as I drew them, I learned, and I worked a little bit better with them.
Yeah, looks really pretty. Lilith is beautiful too. I mean, they're all beautiful. I mean, come on.
I really like Lady Nixa. That one was done just in pencil, but I really feel like I got the flow of her personality in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for her now. Here she is.
Where is she?
This one. Yeah.
I want to be her. I just want to be in some water.
I know. The water flowing and the lilies. It was just beautiful. And it goes so well with the words, the wording, and yeah, they're They're just awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, we showed her artwork. Cat butt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
How long have I been a witch? Oh geez. I did a dedication, I think, in 2005. So what is that? 10, 13, 12, 10, something like that. How about you, Nakita? Did you ever like dedicate yourself? Do you have like a start date or anything?
Not really. I think, well, when I learned about it, I was in 7th or 8th grade. So I was about 13 years old. And I had never really heard about Wicca. I heard about witches, you know, Halloween witches, but never about actual, like, real life being a witch, practicing witchcraft, being Wiccan. And when I learned about it, like, a light switch clicked in my head. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. I really love that. So I guess like maybe 9 or 10 years. I didn't do like a actual like dedication like you said, but I just kind of connected, I guess.
Yeah. And you were at part of a group for a while, or was it a coven? What was it?
It wasn't a coven. I believe we just called ourselves like a circle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was just like-minded women, and we practiced some Sabbats together and did some rituals together. I think it only lasted about a year. I do miss them a lot, but everyone kind of got busy and kind of fell apart a little bit. It wasn't like any kind of negative feelings at all. We all pretty much missed it equally, but
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I knew that the group didn't fall apart because of bad blood or anything. It was
Right.
like,
It was just
yeah.
life, but
Yeah.
I did miss it because it kept me on track, and I was like, okay, I got to get ready for this, and I should be studying this, you know, and being more involved. But I'm pretty much solitary otherwise, which makes it really hard for me to focus and remember because I don't have any, you know, it's like being on a diet. Like you need accountability for me.
Right.
It's more fun to do it with someone.
Yeah. And you had, from the people I know, you had a nice little group anyway.
Yeah, we did. Everyone was so nice.
Yeah. For, I guess, for from your perspective, what do you think would be helpful or advice that you might want to give someone just starting out? So if someone in art, give your advice about art, and then within like a magical or witchy practice, what is your advice for, both aspects?
Well, in art, the easiest thing you could do is get a sketchbook and a pencil and just start drawing anything and everything. I didn't take any classes until my last year of college. I don't think you need classes necessarily. YouTube is amazing. It has every tutorial. There are so many artists sharing their skills and techniques and their lives and how they become artists. It's really, really helpful. But the hardest thing for me is looking at a blank piece of paper and getting stuck on it and not knowing what to do. And you just have to put a line down. It doesn't matter what it is. Just put a line down and you're making an effort and you'll get something from it. As far as magic or witchcraft goes, get books. Read a lot of books from every kind of author. Even if you don't necessarily agree with it, knowledge is power, and it's always good to learn how other people follow. And I think that's how I found my path, is by learning how other people did it and kind of making my own little basket of knowledge. Yeah. And
Yeah.
meet people. It's hard. It's a little scary, but if you can, like how I met you, Cricket, and like I went to a little metaphysical shop in my town, and I met such a wonderful group of people, and it really did change that part of my life for the better. So don't be scared, explore, and yeah, the internet has all the information you need now too.
Right. Yeah, I'm so glad that we ended up meeting at that metaphysical shop. And I can't even remember it's because I was reading there and you came into the shop, right?
I think the first time there was someone
Oh,
was
A fair.
It was at night, and someone was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a video camera involved. I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh, maybe it was one of the nights we were doing, which is on my YouTube, which is on the channel here. One of the times we did like the 3 witches of 3 sons or something.
Yeah.
And that video is on my channel here.
Oh, I don't get that. That's so funny. Yeah, but
it was Wendy, Shaw, and myself, and we did like a question answer thing, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then,
oh my gosh! Yeah, so you guys can check out that video.
Oh yeah,
it's on this channel if you want to watch that.
I'm gonna watch it after this for sure.
That's so weird. That's so long ago. So.
We reconnected at that same shop's grand reopening.
That's right.
You were you had your book. You were doing book signings for your other novel, and my friend told you for me that I was an artist because I'm very shy. I'm better now, and that's the other thing. If you're shy, stop being shy. You got to push yourself out. I learned that when you're an art, a lot of artists are introverts. I'm painfully introverted. To a fault, and that won't get you anywhere. If you want to do something with your art, you have to connect with people, you have to network, and you have to put yourself out there, and it just gets easier every time, I promise.
Right. That's right. We met at that, and then I remember asking you if you'd be interested. Yeah, it's great. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Is there any questions? Anybody have any questions?
Nope, everyone's talking about their
heritage.
Yes.
Awesome.
So okay. So Nakita, do you have any questions for our audience, for Renee, for me? I mean, because now we can just we have about a half an hour. We can just shoot the shit now.
Yeah, Renee, how long have you been practicing, and I guess what got
Witch by name, 6 years, but as a practitioner, I was actually raised Buddhist in an actual.
Ooh.
I say this like every single time, but it's like, and I still don't have like really concise words, but an actual esoteric form of Buddhism. So thus, magic was had. So whichever counts for you, I guess, in that realm.
That's nice. Cool.
So, Nakita, were you brought up in a spiritual family? Did your family have?
No, and that's a funny thing. I'm the only one who latched onto it when I learned about it, and I didn't want to tell anyone because my parents are a little bit old school Portuguese, not really super like Catholic, but definitely not pagan. If anything, a little bit atheist, a little bit maybe. But when I started talking about it to my mom, because I'm very, very close with my mom, and I knew that if I just explained it to her, she would understand after a while. And then I found out that my grandma on her side would practice witchcraft. And I had no idea. And I had never met my grandma. I was like a baby when I did, but I don't remember her at all. And it kind of like skipped a generation, I guess. My mom did not practice it. Her sister did not touch it. Because back then in Portugal, it was very looked down upon if you had involvement in that sort of thing. Like my grandmother was like a fortune teller kind of sort of in the village. And she would do these things that were very witchy. And people kind of avoided her for that reason, out of fear, whatever it was. So my mom never really talked about it with me. And then when I told her that I have this huge interest, she's like, "Oh, you're just like your grandma." So yeah, there was some explanation there, but I think I'd like to think that I get it from her, even though I never really knew her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danielle Spiraling Monk wants to know, do you ever have days when you don't feel so sure about your artwork, and how do you get over that?
100%. So many days. especially since I'm not doing art full time and it feels out of reach sometimes. And when I'm not, and I'm not sure what you mean sure about my art, if it's good enough or if I can do something with it as far as a career goes. And I guess it's both. I do feel unsure because there's always going to be someone better, but that's fine. That's not the point of being better. It's just doing your art, and it's never going to be perfect, and there's always going to be judgy people, but you just have to do it. It's going to be like a fire burning in you. I thought I was going to stop. I stopped drawing for like a year and a half, and I thought I was just done with it, and I was okay with that. And then it came back. And then I couldn't stop. And I got a lot of supplies, and I started doing all these new things. And even though it feels really impossible sometimes, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop. And it doesn't mean you should stop. That's the only way it's going to stop, is if you stop. You know what I mean? Like, not to be, repeating myself, but even when the days are tough, and it's okay to take a break and not draw for a little while. Sometimes your soul needs that. But if it's what you love, then push through it. Yeah.
Carry that sketch pad with you in every few minutes. Be like Nakita, whip it out and just start drawing.
Giant bag with me. It's so heavy, but I bring it with me almost everywhere I go, and it has watercolors and sketchbooks and too much crap. I swear to God, it's way too much, but I don't want to be somewhere where inspiration strikes and I have nothing on me to record it,
She does. She'll sit there and she'll whip out. The other day when we were at that book signing, she was drawing away.
Yep. Actually, I have that with me too.
Do you? You should show them what you were working on, because it's gorgeous.
Thank you. I worked on them a little bit more at my new job. Worked on this guy a little bit right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Whipped it out and she was drawing.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I guess that would be my advice for that if you're ever unsure. It's going to happen. It's just a hump along the way, and you'll get over it.
Hey, Xerxes, he has a question. What do you all think of staying connected to magic and to nature in this technological world?
Ooh, it's tough. It's tough sometimes. I am pretty much glued to my phone 24/7, but I take walks in the park. I try to go on hikes. And literally being connected is like just taking my shoes off and putting my feet in the dirt and risking getting a tick. But it's worth it because it does. And here's my cat. I'm sorry. It is really hard, but it has. I think for my own mental health, I have to do it sometimes. And just, I don't know if I could fully disconnect from the internet because it's kind of hard. But at least going out into the park and just walking for a bit. Like a little walking meditation.
What about you, Renee?
I turn my phone off after 8, and I don't watch TV. So, I mean, like, I have to stay grounded. So, if anything, I'm the one that's trying to avoid technology, giving it the middle finger, fighting the change, hugging a tree in the backyard type of deal. So, for me, it's not that hard, but that's just, you just have to make it a priority.
Yeah.
But like with anything, if you don't want to be connected to technology so much, well, then you need to make the action to disconnect more. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, oh, darn, that technology, because then it won't get done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I don't have a smartphone, so that's very helpful, not to be connected to the internet 24/7. But still, having this computer, having a business that I basically run through the internet, and Renee, I know she's on, the internet for her business as well, and needing to be connected in that way. But like she said, making it a priority, making sure that you set up some sort of boundary for yourself and you stick with it. Because if you don't, the technology will invade. It will invade you, your world, your life, if you allow it to. And it seems like it's getting more aggressive. Everything is becoming automated or has some sort of technology connected to it. So making it a priority to stay connected is the best way to do that. Thank you, Renee, for deleting that message by the individual in the chat room. Yeah, trolls. Tammy. Oh, wait. Do you think that electricity and Wi-Fi is an obstacle to Earth grounding?
No, because electricity is literally an element in the Asian esoteric practice. So it's something that occurs naturally in nature. Everything has an electrical charge. It's called magnetism. So not really.
How about Wi-Fi?
I don't see a difference.
How about you? What do you think, Nakita?
Actually, I agree with Renee, because electricity is natural. And as far as Wi-Fi goes, I mean, possibly, I don't know. I've been so used to having that around me, so I don't really see a difference. But people are sensitive in different ways, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone were to be affected more by even like having a computer near them on all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, things like television and cell phones, we don't keep in our bedroom. My husband and I, we don't keep those things in our bedroom because I feel those things tend to interfere with my sleep pattern. But a light is different. The energy that the light bulb or the light or even the clock radio emits is different than the cell phone and the TV. So I don't know if that's necessarily Wi-Fi, or I don't think it's electricity. So I don't know what it is, but I do know that those two things interrupt my sleep. So
it's like frequencies in the air.
It must be. I don't know. Is there any way that you three will do a combined combination of like a special witch show in person, like teaching witches or newcomers witch tips or giving tips for what they can use? Okay, what?
I'm gonna interrupt on that one because so the thing is, though, those videos exist. There are multiple witches, like Lady Grave Dancer. That's her entire channel of over 44,000 subscribers of nothing but information for new witches. And you have been on as long as she has. If you would do a quick search and look at the history of videos, you'll find nothing but a plethora of teaching videos. Literally, our entire series of Lunar Wisdom was literally a teaching series that we did for over a year, which you did even for a longer year and a half before that. The videos exist. So for us to go on and create videos that already exist are not going to happen. So if you want to subscribe to a channel that has that information, feel free to subscribe to the channels. Feel free to do the work and do the research. I'm sorry, this is something that just agitates the absolute shit out of me. And also, it's just like, give me a minute. So my thing is, though, we're not going to sit here and make more videos just because it's convenient when you can find the information. It already exists. So, next.
So yeah, all of the Secret Circle videos are not available. I did go through and delete some of them, the ones that were not.
Those weren't helpful.
No, they weren't. I was going to say the ones that were not really watched. There were some that I deleted that I deleted. But there is, if I have 400 plus videos. So if there is a specific topic that you're asking about, I mean, definitely ask your question. But if you're just looking for general information, I have over 400 videos. And like Renee said, Lady Grave Dancer and there's other witches out there that have a whole bunch of.
I can literally list 20 right now of people that have nothing but resources that actually so if you want to ask about certain witches and other channel names to look for, I'd be happy to give them to you. But time is something you never get back. We even equivocate time through money. So it's just kind of like, no. So.
Okay, so Moon Wolf Spirit, is there a right or wrong way to keep a grimoire?
Respectfully, I guess is the word that I would keep the grimoire. So whatever that means to you. I personally wouldn't keep a grimoire on the floor because I don't feel like it would be like respectful. So it just depends on how you keep up with your sacred texts.
Mm. And I was just thinking, generally, I don't put mine on the floor, but if I were sitting on the floor and I was doing I was sitting on the floor doing spell work, I might put my book on the floor next to me only because I'm using the floor as a table, if I'm sitting on the floor. But again, like she said, it really depends on your own view of how, I would say your intention. What is your intention in your book?
Because
what
there's
is the
people that
intention?
won't put tarot cards on the floor. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
That just depends on you. You know
exactly.
I read on the floor, so I'm just kind of like, my tarot cards live on the floor. Now,
Right.
if I'm not reading, I don't leave them on the floor. Makes sense? Same
You
with
step
books.
on them and squish them and all that. I know.
Yeah, I do jumping jacks.
I know.
Cards fully.
I know you do. You just like throw them in the air and you're like, woo, like
That's
confetti.
how I charge and cleanse my cards.
I know.
They look like crap. Can we stop? We need to stop trolling ourselves. We're trolling.
Oh, we are trolling ourselves, aren't we?
We're trolling ourselves.
Nakita, put us in line. Put us in line.
You can do it. You guys are great.
I've had a long week. My patience is very thin. It's all good. I'm out of water.
Trolls and spammers are everywhere. They are hellbound. They are.
You attract them.
Why are people coming on here to start chaos? I mean, honestly, that's a good question because they have nothing better to do on a Thursday night at 8:45. How did everyone spend their Beltane? Sick. I was sick. And I went to bed like super early and slept for a really long time. What did you guys, did you either of you do anything special for Beltane?
I don't practice the Sabbats, so.
Oh, that's right. Renee doesn't practice the Sabbats, so there. Renee's too good for the Sabbats.
No, I'm not too good for Sabbats. I forget. Let's see. What was Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
I made chicken tenders and I vacuumed and folded laundry. I had to fill my planner. So,
yeah, woo, that sounds really exciting.
Yeah, adult life.
I was seriously sleeping. No Beltane magic that night. No maypole dancing for me.
I try to avoid that on Beltane just because that is not what I know. No children's, no children's.
She don't want none of that.
Nope, no kids for me. I'm good. Thank you. Everything else, some people are made for that. Not it.
Not it.
I don't actually have a YouTube channel, but can't find you on Messenger. Oh, I don't know if who that was talking to. Okay. The TV and cell phone idea in the bedroom. I never thought of that. My sleep is always disrupted. Perhaps it has to do with the TV in our bedroom and our cell phones plugged in, charging by the bed. I would suggest, I mean, it may not have a problem. It may not be what's disrupting your sleep, but experiment with it. Get the TV out of your room and don't charge your phone in your room and see if you see a difference. I know that since we removed it, and it's been years now that we removed the TV and the cell phones from our room, but we found that it was very much a disruption for us. So. Do you either of you have a TV or cell phones in your bedroom?
My man keeps his cell phone charging on his side, but I don't see that it messes with me. I charge mine, and it's in the same room, but this room is huge. So
yeah, I was going to say your room is huge.
So mine's like on the other side, across on this desk, being charged unaffected. Now I have a rule in this house where there are no TVs in bedrooms. You're either there to have fun or to go to sleep. So
exactly.
like
Exactly.
I don't no, but like I guess if you're like I get it if you have like a teenager and like that's where they spend like all their free time and all that stuff. But me as a grown ass adult with my own space and stuff, I have a living room for that. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna watch TV. So it's just focused. I guess it's just what's the word I'm thinking about? It's about being mindful. Being present in the room that you're in. So that's actually a part of my practice. So I'm just kind of like I'm just not gonna have anything distracting what I'm trying to do in the bedroom, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Inappropriately and appropriately.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree.
How about you? The same with no TVs in the bedroom. I grew up with a TV in the bedroom and it messed with my sleeping patterns so bad, and I never realized it until I took it out. And I sleep so much more peacefully. However, I do have my cell phone not even just on my nightstand, like on the bed with me, because I listen to podcasts as I sleep. I listen to a podcast called Sleep With Me, and it's just this guy who has a very raspy voice, and he just talks about nothing, and it puts me to sleep like that. And it helps me because my mind races a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I have my phone face down and as close as I can have it with the earbuds in, but it helps me fall asleep. So I do have.
Well, that makes sense.
Get a wireless headphones. You can get them on Amazon for like $20, and you can have them across the room, and then you won't have it so close to your face, and you can just sit there with the wireless headphones, and then you can just charge them up every day before you get to sleep.
And that sounds like a super idea, Nakita.
Yeah, I might do that. I'm gonna have to do that.
$20 might buy you some sleep. So
yeah.
Yeah. So Mystic Jen, I would check that out. And I agree. It's definitely a mindfulness thing. And I totally agree with Renee. The bedroom is for sleeping and sex. That's what it's for. If I like when I am ill, or when my husband has been ill, if we want to like maybe watch something, we bring the laptop in room with us, but that's something that we can then easily remove instead of having that TV constantly there.
Me and Kat actually have dragged the mattress out to the living room and just
there you go.
And we had like a movie night there. But we'll bring the mattress back into the bed and just,
right.
Yeah, but it's been fun because we put all the pillows on the ground, comfortable, but that's not like sleeping there. So it's still a different room, different occasion, I guess, or event happening.
Right. I think everybody's practice is their own special thing. True. Well, known knowledgeable spells are never in books because they're part of the basics. I don't know. Is there anything else in here? Learning about Beltane.
No, but it just goes.
The Bluetooth creates frequencies of manipulation. Okay. We have about 5 minutes. Any last minute things that you ladies would like to share?
I would like to know, where can we get a copy of A Witch's Voice?
You want to know? Let me tell you. I'm sending you yours, Renee. So you're all set. But you can check it out on Amazon. There is copies on Amazon. But if you want a autographed copy, like this one that I have, or like Nakita has, see, with our lovely signatures, you can go to www.lunarwisdom.net, and on the library option, you can order it right through my website and I can mail you a copy. But if it's not a big deal, you can, and you're a Prime member, you want to save on shipping, then you can check out the copy on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com. Or if you're in the New York area, Book Broom. No, I always mess it up.
Broom, book,
Candle. Yes. Jenny, the Rogue Witch. She has copies. And if you're here in the New Bedford area, my God.
Folklorica.
Sanctum, what is it?
Sanctum Folklorica.
Thank you. Sanctum Folklorica. I'm like, I can't talk. on Purchase. Is it on Purchase or Pleasant? Purchase.
Purchase Street. Yep.
Purchase Street.
Right around from Union.
I'm sorry?
Right around from Union.
Yes, right around from Union. I always get Purchase and Pleasant.
Yeah, they're like parallel or something. Yeah.
They are. In her shop, she also is carrying copies. So those are the places that you can order it.
Mm.
Barnes & Noble's, Amazon, my website, and those two. And hopefully after at the end of May, beginning of June, maybe some selected shops in Salem, Massachusetts. But I'm working on that. We'll see. That would be great. I think that's it. We have like 3 minutes. Next week, I'm not sure what we're doing, but we will have a show. Just heads up, because we are relocating. My family and I are relocating to Washington State at the end of June. So there will be some weeks where there won't be a show. Sad.
And in the summer, I have a couple of trips where I'm going to be in the home of a Catholic. So it'd be very, very hard to do a show.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome, but I can't upset Nana. So
That would be awesome. Maybe, you know what, Renee, maybe you and I should do pre-recorded, we can record a couple of wine witches, get some guests, and we can do a pre-recorded show, and then I can publish it for the weeks that we're gone. Because I did do a special edition in the middle of the afternoon.
I saw that after the fact, and I was just like, she cheated on me.
It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. It was some strange time. I'm like, I'm just going to go on real quick and tell everybody that I'm not going to have a show. I literally expected it to be like 5 minutes, if that. And all of a sudden, people are popping up in chat. And at one point, I had 20-something people watching me at like 3:00 in the afternoon on a Thursday. And they're asking questions, and I'm like, okay, we'll keep going on. And then I realized later it's 45 minutes long. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? But we'll do something like that maybe, and that way everybody will have something to watch while we're gone.
That sounds like a plan.
We can do that.
And Nikita back too.
Yeah, Nakita, if you want to come back, you can just come back and talk witchy shit with us. If you have something, we should get some controversial topic where we can all
spicy.
Yeah, spiciness. Yeah, we should. Yeah. So tune in next week. Next week we will have a show, as far as I know. We're going to be on next week. And that's it for tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. This was good. It's so nice to have these two lovely ladies with me. And we'll see you next week, everyone. Love you. Blessed be. Bye-bye.
Bye.